Hey, how's it going, guys? I thought I'd make a quick update video here. Yes, I am still alive. Thank you very much for asking. We'll have some videos in December. I have a big video planned. I have my year in review videos that I'm probably going to throw together for some of the games that I've just missed over the year. I have a few of them, actually. I do have more negative things to say than I did last year regarding some games that I've looked at. But anyway, podcast will still be coming out infrequently. There will be a video, hopefully, Christmas Day. And that's about it. So, let's talk about Shadowlands. And we're going to be talking about how I'm not going to be talking about it. I feel that this is just going to be the one that breaks me completely. That I'm just going to be bored stiff of, and I'm just going to feel like I've wasted my money. With, you know, Blizzard's recent trends, Reforged, felt like I wasted my money on that. I kind of got my value back by just replaying the game, but I could have just done that with the original discs. It's not looking to be a very fun expansion. And it's weird because, you know, usually, like, I'll just not play WoW because, you know, I'm not subscribed to it, I haven't bought the expansion, you know, it's a lot of money to put up front, but I'm already subscribed to it. I'm paying monthly for it to play Classic with my friends and pop into retail and, you know, do some PvP every now and then, but I've been doing the Shadowlands pre-launch event, and it's just... I'm not too keen on this expansion, and I'm not too keen on the people, quote-unquote, promoting it, or as I like to call them, Blizzard mouthpieces. Oh man, look at this expansion coming up, man! Oh man, did you play the beta? Oh dude, they're adding all these spells that were in Classic WoW. The game's fixed! Oh... I'm like, that's it? Really? And then I look at, like, what the content the game is actually launching with. And, you know, I'm gonna get a lot of shit for this. People are saying, like, oh, you can't judge the game based just on how much content there is, just on numbers. Like, yes, you can. Because it sets the expectation. And you can, you know, say, like, oh, you know, well, what if the content is, like, you know, it's big, you know, like, you know, one new area, or one new dungeon, or one new raid, but it's huge. Yeah, but the... it never is it? It never is big enough to compete with the previous games. And you can talk about quality until you're blue in the face, but it does set that expectation, because how often have we bought a new game, or in this case, a new WoW expansion, with barely any content at launch, and then it ended up being, without having to pay more money, to be... you know, completely making up for it. Like, you know, Warlords of Draenor didn't launch with a whole lot. Oh, don't worry, they're gonna... Oh my god, they're gonna put in so much stuff. No, they instead took time to put money into the next expansion. So people who bought 6 months worth of subscription time kind of got screwed, because they just put everything into Legion. And then, naturally, people thought, well, Legion was great, so maybe Battle for Azeroth will be even better. Or decent. It's not great. The general consensus is that it kind of sucks. So, okay. Warlords of Draenor kind of sucked. That's fine. Legion, great. And then you have BFA, sucks. So now maybe Shadowlands, good. Get a pattern here? I just don't see it. I just don't see it. Maybe because I'm more jaded, maybe because I'm more cynical, but the hype is just not there anymore. And I can still get excited for games, but, you know, when you look at content for content, you know, again, going, you know, quality, it's just, it sets the expectation. So we can just look at numbers right here, you know, Burning Crusade, let's just talk about that, since it happens to be launching probably soon for Classic. 15 dungeons, I believe, for Burning Crusade at launch, versus 8 in Shadowlands. 5 raids in Burning Crusade versus a single one in Shadowlands. And it's only going to be Wing 1 coming out in the first week, which, you know, they are staggering it, so that's nice. Now, to be fair to Shadowlands, 2 of those raids in Burning Crusade weren't, you know, big. They were Magtheridon's Lair, which was just 1 boss, and Gruul's Lair, which was 2. But they still had 3, and Karazhan, like, do you really think that the new raid is going to be bigger or more intricate than something like Karazhan? What about Serpent Shrine Cavern and Tempest Keep? You know, have those two on top. Do you think this one raid is going to be bigger than, or better, or you know, than all three of those raids interchangeably? Like, do you honestly think that? Because you could just look at WoW's history and you can tell that when they do the expansions and when they don't have a lot of content at launch, they're never that great. The content itself is never that great. Wrath didn't have a whole lot of content at launch. You know, it was alright. When you played it, it wasn't fantastic. Like, oh, they really put the effort in to give you some great raids. You know, only a small amount, but really, really fun. No, there was, what, the Eye, or whatever it's called, the one where you fight Malagos, which was like 2 bosses, and then you had the Naxxramas raid, recycled, because not a whole lot of people played it in vanilla. You know, it was fun, it was nice that it was updated, they had some little things added here and there, but, you know, wasn't really substantial. Wrath got better, it got more content, but the thing is that it just was always kind of hit and miss. Well, Trial of the Crusader wasn't that great. And people talk about, like, oh, well, the time was, like, really short between the last raid and Cataclysm, but that's only because they threw in a, you know, throwaway raid. They had something called Ruby's Sanctum, which was just one boss fight, pretty much, and once people were done with that, they're like, okay, back to ICC Heroic. And you might be thinking, oh wow, he's a real contrarian, he's shitting on Wrath of the Lich King. I love Wrath of the Lich King, because you had, like, what, 14 million people playing it. So you had all these cool events, and the socializing was there, and everything was still fine with WoW. Everything was alright in the world of Warcraft. But now, you know, you don't have the communities that you used to. You have Looking for Group now, you have Looking for Raid, you have all this stuff piled in on top to kind of break away the MMO aspect for the game. And that's not even talking about how the game has basically diverged from being an RPG. It's hardly an MMO and it's hardly an RPG anymore. It's just, everyone might as well just be bots, honestly. But, you know, you have other things. New profession, jewel crafting in Burning Crusade, versus nothing here. 2 new races, Burning Crusade, versus 0 here. I mean, there's allied races, but you can't really count those, because this is a new expansion, new stuff, new content, and you can't really carry over stuff from BFA. Like, that's all stuff that was done during BFA. I don't take content from Burning Crusade and just pull it over to Wrath. 11 zones in Burning Crusade. That's kind of a misleading number. And then that's versus 4 and the Maw. And then, you know, you could say, like, well, you know, you have all this new leveling content that's going to kind of be done. You could choose your new leveling zone. They're gonna fluff that up. But Cataclysm did that too, and they still had 2 races. You see where I'm getting at? Like, anytime, like, someone, like, well, at least in my fucking head, you know, I can come up with an argument for Shadowlands, like, well, yeah, but, like, they did that too. They did something dumb like that too. Or they cut content too, but they still had this. Or they still did that. You know? And I'm just sick of excusing Blizzard. It's just funny, because, like, I've just been playing Classic, and, you know, it's got so many problems, but I'd still rather play that as a game than touch anything related to retail. And it's funny, because it's like, you know, I'm talking about content right now, and it's like, even if it had a lot of content, I still probably wouldn't play it. I would be more inclined to look into it, like, ooh, Shadowlands has got all this new content. Maybe, you know, maybe they're putting a lot of time into this one. Maybe it'll actually be fun. And, like, they've been really just, like, I remember we used to get, like, a new battleground every time an expansion launched. Or we get plans for one immediately. We've been getting jack shit for, like, the last 4 expansions. I mean, actually, Legion added some content. Warlords had one fucking PvP thing, Ashran. Legion had some new arenas, and they did some updates. Battle for Azeroth updated the graphics and added in Winter Grasp into, like, this new rotation pool for 40-man battlegrounds, which was actually a good idea. But they were just kind of reusing content. They didn't really add anything. It kind of sucks. And Legion even added brawls. So, I don't know, man. It's just not looking like a very... just anything expansion. Not a fun one, not a content-rich one, not a feature-complete one. And I'm just not going to be covering it. I don't even think I'm going to be playing... I might just wait till the next one. I've never skipped out on an entire expansion before. Like, I've considered it, but I'm putting my foot down. And, you know, it's like, oh, they'll be back. He'll be back soon. He'll be playing WoW soon enough. Like, no, not this time. Like, I was there for the BFA launch, and I came back, like, briefly. You know, briefly, just to play it with a friend, and then I just didn't care for it. And it's like, I'm just kind of sick of wasting my money. So, yeah, I'm not going to be covering Shadowlands. I don't think I'll be doing the entire expansion, or quite possibly the next one. It's just kind of sad. Like, this is a whole chapter of my young adult life, playing WoW all weekend, and then you know, you grow out of it, and that's fine. You know, it's okay that some games don't entertain you like you used to, because you kind of experience all these new things in life. But you know, I can still get excited for a game. I can still, you know, play those like 6-8 hour sessions sometimes, or close to that. You know, I take a lot of breaks. And you know, even Blizzard, you know, like Blizzard would still release games recently that were, you know, would hold my attention. Legacy of the Void, StarCraft 2. Played the shit out of that. Played it back again when the Nova DLC came out, and then played co-op campaign stuff all the way through. It was fun. It's a lot of fun, but this doesn't look fun. This looks lame. This looks terrible. And that's about it. Anyway, guys, I think you're sick of me complaining about WoW. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. I'm out.